Okay.
Ahora sí funciona. Danke. Willkommen, Olcay.
Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, so thank you for coming. And what we want to do today is go through the basics of sincerity so that, okay, I am Jade and he's Noel. And we'll go over kind of the basics so that we are all on the same page. But we'll practice too. I'll try not to talk too much so that we can practice. But so we'll start doing some
Basic.
yeah, let's start with the lifesaver. And you've probably seen it. It's like the most basic magical pads. Okay, actually, I'm gonna go back and we'll start with the basic, actually. So there is this posture called the warrior's stance, and it's important that, I don't know if you can see, legs, like the feet, are at the same distance as the shoulders, and your legs are slightly bent. Your feet are parallel or slightly inward. So let's try this. And when you are in this position, when you look down, you shouldn't see your feet. There should be covered by your knees, okay? So if you are too wide, you'll see your feet, kind of. If you're too narrow, you'll see them too. So let's try this. This is a very stable position that we maintain throughout most of the passes, unless we say so that you shouldn't be in this position. But mostly we do this. When we do punches and things like that, this is stable. It shouldn't be moving or doing all kinds of anything that is not just staying there. So when you are here and you punch, this should be very stable and kind of tense in a way so that you don't fall over, okay? So we can try that, and we'll use this position for the lifesaver, okay? So we'll place, we'll be set into the warrior stance, and we'll start moving our arms to the sides. It's important to touch the shoulder when you go to one side, and you touch the other shoulder with the other hand when you go to the other side. The back, the hand that is on the back does not touch the body, okay? So when you're here, you don't touch. So in here, it's also important to be in warrior stance so that you don't move around. Because if you are not in warrior stance, you might be doing this. So I don't see what you're doing. I'm just thinking. So if you are in this position, you won't be moving as much. You won't be moving the hips.
Yeah.
The hips will be staying to the front. Now this is an active movement. You don't go like you're tired. You are trying to touch the other shoulder. And you can do this as long as you want. Any pass usually you can do as long as you want. And while you're doing this, I like to point out that the most important part of doing the magical passes is trying to stay silent inside your head. Try to bring inner silence, because the passes will have They have their own intent, but you have to help it with your own intent, trying to stay silent. They will have much more, can say, what it is, more effect if you are silent. And here we're talking and all of that, but this is so that you learn the movement and how to position yourself so that later you can do it by yourself in the dark room, whatever you want, and try to stay silent. Once you know the movement, it's much easier to do it without thinking. So plus the body will remember and you will stay in the movement without having to actually think about what's next, I'm doing this wrong, or whatever might be going on in your head. So here again, we are kind of explaining and all that, but the idea is that you silence yourself and get into the movement and practice like that. So, all right, so let's do a little bit more. The idea with these classes is that now we're going to go over the basics, but then later, we're going to learn some series, and then later we are going to do the long forms of the series. And we will talking less and less once we know the series, once we all know them. All right. The other basic is the hands. Usually, again, not in every single pass is this, but usually, we're in warrior stance. We also put the finger, the thumb, flex, and kind of inside the hand. All of the fingers are straight. They are not bent in any way. And usually, like you can see this in the intense series, we're always placing the hands like this. Also, when we are not using one hand, we're doing something with this hand, and we are not using, we cover the vital centers. So if we're not doing it, like again, in the intense series, we do this, we are always covering our vital centers here. So that's the other basic. And finally, okay, the other important thing that I would like you to start using and learning is the tendon energy. Now, how we utilize this energy and why, you can read why in the book. It's there's a whole part of it talking about it, mostly so that we can recover the energy that's been displaced into the periphery of the luminous egg. But we need to use that. Most of the passes use that energy, unless we are doing something very soft, or even so, we apply some of that energy. So I'll try now for you to try. We'll try to understand how that works. So when it's more clear when we do punches, how that works, than when we don't. So I will do both ways, because in both ways we do apply the tendon energy. So we'll do some punches. We can do, we'll start with a simple one. We'll flex at the wrist, and we'll do a punch on the front. Okay, so this is the gas. You can alternate. Now, what are we doing here? First of all, warrior stance, and we'll try to be relaxed some way, a little bit, and then when we move the hand. When we reach the point where we want to stop, we engage all of our muscles, particularly the ones on the arm and the ones on our abdominal area. So we'll send the arm and then engage all our muscles to stop the movement. It's not that we are going full force trying to hit something. We're moving, but then stopping it at that point. So let's try that. You move the arm, and then you stop it by contracting your muscles. This is like an explosive type of tendon energy, where you make it explode when you contract everything at the point where you want it to stop. Let's do it with the other arm. Let's alternate. Okay. Let's try another one. This is from the HIIT series. And you grab on one shoulder and you bring the arm to the side. And when you hit the place where you want it to stop, that's where you engage. Okay, so you bring and engage when you're stopping. So let's alternate. Okay. Now let's do another one of the HIIT series. What I want to show with this is the following, that the movement is this one. You bring, just like we did, but then you go back and you punch on the side parallel to your body. Now, you're punching on the side, okay? But you're not trying to punch, like this is with a lot of force, but the force is not in the going. The force is on the stopping, if that makes any sense. So we can try this until you get the gist of it. So we go and we punch on the side. To stop the movement, you engage your abdominal muscles. Also, because you're in warrior stance, the muscles of your leg also engage. Okay. like I said, this is kind of like an explosion. When we go, everything engages and it feels like an explosion. Now, there is this other way of engaging the tendon energy. Okay, one more thing. So when we do this position, when we do some passes, this also, you should see your tendon going up a little bit. So that also helps engaging this energy, which is not coming from the tendon itself, but that's how we make it work. So the other way the tendon energy is engaged is by tensing. So tensegrity, the tensing part is this, the tendon energy. The other way is not making an explosion, but engaging the tendon and the tension of the muscles and the arms. For example, when we do this one, also from the HIIT series, I'm not just going like this. I'm putting a lot of force into moving the arm one side and the other. So I am tensing the whole arm and the abdominal muscles to move this to one side and to move this to the other side. You relax when you're not making the movement, and then you start again. You can relax and then start again. There's a movement like this in the series we're going to do today, which is a recapitulation series. But I wanted to show you before we do that. Actually, this one is not like this. It's back and forth. Sorry.
And you're pushing the energy.
Pushing and going
the
back.
filaments of the energy. You wanna feel it with your hand, like pushing a thing of energy that is in front of you.
Right. So it's back and forth. So when you go back, so it's forth and back. When you go back, you also apply this tension. You kind of relax. You apply the tension, and when you go back, you keep applying. You only relax when you are not doing the movement. You tense everything. Tense, 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 tense. Relax. Okay. So those are the two main ways how we engage this type of energy. So we could start, or
yeah.
Okay. Let's just check really quick. Okay. All right. So if I remember anything between, I'll interrupt the series. So what else?
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to do the recapitulation series mostly because it's kind of simple and a little bit illustrates what we've been talking about. So we'll do the individual passes, and then later on, at some point, we'll put them together into a long form. Again, these are also two different ways of doing tensegrity of the series, so that we can do the passes over and over again, repetitions of the same pass, or we can put them together, like we have the series already set up for us. And it's a different feeling because you are doing one pass after the other. You kind of have to remember. Your body has to know what comes next so that you don't stall, like what's coming next. It needs to know what's coming next. And it learns that by doing it over and over. So just like it learns how to do the individual pass by doing it over and over, the same thing happens when you have a long form. The good thing about the long forms is that if your body knows the form, it makes it easier for us to shut the internal dialogue, because we get into the movement and we are just doing that without thinking. And in the other one, if you start, I don't know, counting how many times you're doing it, you're kind of engaging a little bit the mind. So it's preferable maybe not to just do the pass as many times as you feel like you want to do them. So there are kind of two different ways.
Okay. In this series, maybe you can explain how the energy body, how we can
Right.
forge the energy body.
So this series is called the series for recapitulation. Now, we are not going to talk about recapitulation, but this series doesn't have to be done before or after recapitulation always. I mean, it can be done by itself, just like recapitulation can be done by itself without having to do the series before or after it. So, and the good thing about this series is that in most of the passes, we are forging our energy body. By doing so, we are making it more concrete, more cohesive or coherent or something. And that also brings the energy body closer to us. So it doesn't also help recapitulation, but it also helps in other matters that concerns us. So we'll see that the first movement is we are forging the trunk of the energy body. So we think this is kind of like in the past where we also form an energy body, the affection for the energy body path. In this one, we're forging, making kind of like an energy body with energy. We're bringing it into a cohesive unit. And in this case, it's like we have our energy body in front of us, and we're going to forge the trunk of it. So we are making the trunk. So the path is like this. Let's do it. We hit kind of like the shoulders. We hit here, and we hit here in front of us, right? We are not doing it in ourselves. So we hit in front, like at this distance, and then a little bit closer and a bit closer. And we do this repeatedly, engaging the tendon energy when we hit. So we are kind of relaxed until we hit. We hit and then engage. Engage, engage.
It's a precise movement. When we stop with the whole body.
Last. Okay. The next one is also a slap. But in this case, we're going to slap. Like if I had my energy body in front of me and he had his hand over here, I'll slap it. Okay? It can go over a little bit
But not too much.
toward one side. It doesn't have to be in the center. So we'll do one side and the other. So one side with slap and the other. Again, I'm kind of relaxed until I hit. The movement is coming from the side and it hits on the side. So it comes from the side and it hits. For this pass, it's also important to maintain your stance so that you can come with full force and it won't be going all over the place. So you hit, but you are engaging your legs too. It's very hot in here, actually. We're in summer, so, okay. Next one. Okay, one more thing. So the breathing here, most of the countries, you inhale and exhale when you're hitting whatever you are hitting. That's usually what happens. So in here, we inhale and exhale when we hit.
And usually you exhale with the nose, unless that we mention that a different process.
For breathing, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All the time is inhale and exhale through the nose.
Through the nose, yes. Perfect. So we'll do the next one. And in this one, so this, we were hitting, doing the explosive type. In here, we're gonna do the other type, where we tense, like we're going through something very, very thick. Relax, inhale, and exhale, tensing. Relax, inhale, and exhale, tensing. Here we are kind of expanding so that the energy body can come in. Or we're expanding the energy body. We're unsure. So you tense. So this is like a sustained tension. The other one was only for an instant. In this one, we maintain the tension. And we can tense everything, but particularly the arms and the abdominal muscles. Okay. Now we're going to put energy into the core of the energy body. So we're going to place our hands parallel. Here again, also the thumb inside and warrior stance. And we're going to send energy into the core of our energy body. Now this is a flick of the wrist. And when we send it, that's where we engage that energy. So we don't go like this, like we engage when we send, like when we go forward, or when we stop the movement, just like we did before. Okay. So I cannot see you, but you should be maintaining the warrior stance and being firm. So, tick, tick. Okay, now we do the legs. And here we're going to hit. So again, we have like the energy body in front of us. And if he was in front of me, I'm going to hit the back of the lower leg on the side, like this, like if he was there. I'll try to hit here with by making this movement, I'm trying to hit, and this is forging the legs of the energy body, the lower legs. Now this is also should be a precise movement where we stop once we hit, but sometimes it's more difficult to do with the legs because we don't have as much control, maybe. Well, I don't as much. So in order to stop it and be more precise, again, we try to engage the abdominal muscles when we hit. So the leg should be, the feet should be 90-degree angle of the other one. So again, let's try to get silent inside. This is not aerobics or anything. Even though we're making movements with our body, let's try to shut off the internal dialogue as much as possible. Now you'll see when we were doing the practices, the other practices for Spanish speaking people, we were doing the long forms. We did just like here. First, these repetitions, and then we did the long forms. Now, when we were showing the forms, we need to show and talk and all of that. But even when we were silent, I was trying to get silent as well. But at the exact moment where I will have some thought like, oh, wait, whatever maybe, just like 1 second, I will forget what's coming next. Like my body will forget. Like I will say that, what was I doing? Even though it was in very long form, which I know, like I will be there like, where was I? So you'll see in the long forms particularly that if you start engaging the mind, you lose the past. You just can't continue. So it's a good gauge of how silent you are if you start forgetting at any moment what's coming, and don't let the body know and get into the body instead of getting into the mind. So did you see this? Okay, so now we forge the knees by making these circles. We're gonna do inward circles first with the thumb, and then we go with the other leg inward. Now here it really doesn't matter. We'll do outward later. So you can do like a bunch of repetitions inward or in, out. Then we'll do outward. So out, out. And do in. Also, the more silent you are, the more balance you'll have, maybe. This is what happens to me many times. So here we are bringing the leg up, kind of like a 90-degree angle, and we just move from the knee down. We don't move the thigh as much. Right. Doesn't move all over the place, just stays there. Like in front, it looks kind of like it's moving, but it's mostly the knee that's moving. So obviously it will move a little bit, but it's not a movement of the thigh. Oh. Well, when I'm talking, I can also.
Now we want to do
lower
out.
Out.
This is the last one. And the other side. Okay.
Okay, so that's we were forging the knees of our energy body. Now we are going to forge the thighs. And in this one, we'll do, this comes with specific breathing. So first we'll do inhale. Now we're going to exhale, going down. And when we go up, we inhale and we drag with our hands. Drag up, and then exhale. We don't drag or anything. We only drag going up. Exhale. Inhale, going up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now here, you don't have to go into your knees and do some damage over there. You just, you're not getting in the knees, you just dragging, and you feel it in your knee and in your thighs, but it doesn't have to be painful or anything. Now
we want to switch.
We
so
switch.
Just do one. We
Of the
inhale.
normal.
Exhale.
That's how
Inhale.
we just did.
Now we stay here and exhale. Now we inhale down and exhale.
So we are doing the same thing, just switch the way we were inhaling and exhaling, going up or down. Now inhale up, exhale down.
Inhale. Exhale.
Inhale.
Exhale. One more.
All right. Now we are going to
our butt.
hit the back of our leg and butt, if you can reach, with your feet. And here we are trying to loosen up whatever we have in the back of our thighs. Mostly that's one part where our personal history is stored. We're trying to hit it and
Yeah, all the personal history starts in this area. So we are trying to remove the energy that is stuck over there.
to make it easier for recapitulation. So we hit as much as you can, like as high as you can. If you can reach your butt, if not, that's okay.
One more.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
No.
so the next one.
Uh,
All right, yeah. So we are going to again try to loosen up the back part of our leg. So in here we're going to place the foot 90-degree angle with the leg. Place your hand looking inside towards you with the
elbow
elbow.
goes to this way.
The elbow goes out, and then you go down a little bit so that you can feel this part stretching.
Yeah,
It
all
doesn't have to
the way
be
up.
too low or anything. As long as you can feel something going on there, that's enough. And we'll go to the other side. So you should feel the stretch. Again, we are not doing acrobatics or anything. We're just trying to loosen up this area. Actually, okay. So before this one came the same thing. We put the feet, actually one foot in 90-degree angle. We flex here and we tap slightly. We tap. We will also feel a little bit of the back part moving to both sides. We tap. One more of each side. Okay. Now we are ready for the breath, the 3 breathing passes that this series has at the end, actually 4. So the 3 of them start the same. And in here, and this is where we do specific breathing in each of them. So we start bringing the arms out in front of you, the wrists bent, legs, and the arms, the hands with the finger, the thumb inside. So inhale, exhale, bringing the hands towards your shoulder. So exhale. Now
Inhale.
inhale,
And now we want to go one exhalation, very long, on one side, and we keep exhaling on the other hand with the same exhalation until we reach at this position.
And here we
Okay.
inhale
It's only one exhalation.
and exhale. Yeah, sorry, I talked over you, but we were like, we need to breathe. So let's start. Inhale, exhale.
Exhale, 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 exhale. All the way exhaling. And now inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Now in this one and the other ones, you breathe at your own rhythm, right? So you may be able to make it longer or shorter. It's just how we're doing it together here, but if you need to go faster so that you can exhale soon, inhale sooner, that's okay. Just do it at your own pace.
Now do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more times without talking. Last one. So the next magical pass is the same. We start the same thing. We inhale. We exhale. Now we inhale and we bring the hands in this position. And now we exhale. Now we inhale. And we repeat this 5 times. So it's number 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. And we close. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. We are not talking now.
I wanted to say that in this one, we breathe this way. Now, in the long form later, we breathe the opposite way. So I don't know really this. I mean, if it does matter as much if we inhale when we go down or exhale, but in the book, when we do it separately, we do it this way. And then when we do it all together, we do it differently. Just so you know.
Don't worry.
What should I say?
Okay. Next one. We inhale. We exhale. Inhale. And now we exhale. And we bring the hands in this position, and we grab the tendon outside in the back of the knee. And in this position, we inhale 5 times and exhale.
When we inhale, we push the tendon a little bit, and we'll release when we exhale.
Now we want to inhale and bring in all the hands up. And we extend the hands and bring it back.
When you're coming up, you're kind of bringing something up, and then you push it down with your open hands.
Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Your elbows are resting on your thighs.
And we want to inhale up and exhale.
Also, when you are breathing here, you should feel the back, the lower back, and actually the whole back kind of expanding when you're inhaling and releasing. So You probably feel something going on your back when you do this.
Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now 5 times. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhaling up. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Inhale. Okay.
Okay, the last one.
Yeah.
Well, let's wait. Everybody's coming up. Okay.
Last one is the same. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now we exhale, going all the way down. And we're going to go through the hands inside the legs and coming out and put it on top of the feet. I don't know
I
if
don't
you
know
can
how
see
to
that.
show, but basically the back of the hand should be on top of the foot as much as you can in. So you go down, you place both hands looking up
And we want to
towards you.
inhale and exhale 3 times here.
When you go up, you do the same thing, kind of bringing something up and then pushing it down. Here you do as as much as you can, as low as you can. If you can't reach your feet, that's okay. You do, if you can bring them all the way to the front, you just leave them whatever. Doesn't really matter.
One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling up. When we go down, we go first inside the legs. And then we put the hands from outside on top of the feet. It's not all the way around. Sometimes people,
Right. So you go in and around. So inside, around.
let's do it again. Inhale. Excel. Let's do it one more time without talking. This is the last pass of this recapitulation series.
Right.
So
So for
maybe,
today, we'll do 1 hour.
see, maybe we can open the mics if someone has a question,
All right.
how
Yeah,
everything
if
works, or
somebody
what we want to
needs
do.
to ask something or anything. So, mucho lo ven. Nunca lo apagamos.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that'll be for today. And the exercises, my first time. Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
You're welcome.
So
So the
let's,
idea is
Dankeschön.
to continue this Saturdays, like every Saturday, and this that we have maybe
going
one.
on.
We're gonna try to maintain, but it's not like 100%. And this hour that we choose works for Europe, US, Latin America. Unless that you live in Australia or something like that,
Yeah,
it's gonna work.
Japan or something.
Yeah.
So there was a question there about shoes. So usually the 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 rule, let's say, was that we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do tenserity outside, um, and we should do them with shoes on. Now, sometimes inside here, I am not barefoot, but I have like a something less than to like some slippers or something. But because I don't want to damage the floor. But usually we use shoes.
Mhm.
So we don't want to kind of like catch anything outside or through our feet.
Yeah, especially if
We don't
there's
know what.
windy outside, you should not practice magical passes. Try to do it inside or protect it in some place.
From breezes and
Yeah,
winds and things
winds
like
and-
that. Usually not also under the sun, direct sun. Not that good. I mean, if you can, I mean, if you're outside and you have to do something, but if you are planning a tenserity session for yourself, try to do it in a place that's um, not as recommended.
Mhm. The other thing, maybe we can explain about the group that we have and
Right. So we have
the videos we're gonna post and all that.
right. So we are streaming through YouTube right now, and that stays in YouTube, stays recorded. So we have a WhatsApp group. If you want to join, we have one that's just for us to put the links for the practices, things like that. We don't talk too much or anything, and that's where we put the YouTube link that will stay. I put it later, like in one day or so, I usually put it unlisted, but still accessible, but it's not listed in the channel. So it may stay listed or not, but I don't know. But if you want to keep it for later, then if you have the link, you'll be able to access the recording.
And we have a page that we have all the links. So maybe if you miss some class, you can watch later that class. And Jay is gonna share where is the page that you can access all the classes. It's gonna be record all the classes.
So it's still recorded, unless I made a big mistake that I don't want anybody to see, or otherwise it stays there. We make mistakes sometimes, it happens, and or I forget something or whatever. So all right, so if there is no other question, or I hope you learned something and that you'll practice. I mean, since it will be, this series is already on YouTube on regular video. If you want to review it, you know, you can practice from there, or you can review this video that was recorded. But again, I hope that you practice throughout the week, because we'll see you next Saturday, which is a lot of days. So
Thank you so
if
much.
you have any questions, you know, you can contact us. And if you want the group, the WhatsApp group, let me see if I can.
You can
I'll
post
put it over the.
You can post it in the chat here.
Yes. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'll put it in here. YouTube guys won't be able to see it, but you can share if you want. So that's where we place the links and videos and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Have a good
you.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.